Always believe in the good. I've been a part of the Bruno Groening circle of friends since 2009, and over the years I've had countless wonderful experiences with the teachings and the new faith I've discovered. I'm incredibly grateful because the list of blessings just keeps growing. Every time I read even a small healing report, I'm moved to tears and feel like falling to my knees in prayer because I feel the grace and deep love that God pours out upon us. Over time, especially through Einstellen, attending community hours, and other deep experiences, I've realized that many of the beliefs I once held were completely wrong. I saw how often people limit themselves by believing in ideas that were never truly theirs. Ideas they were taught or picked up out of fear, habit, or a lack of connection with the divine order. For example, the idea that weight gain is inevitable, that we must constantly watch what we eat. This isn't God's will. Anything that causes stress, worry, or restriction does not come from God. That's the voice of something else, the negative force that tries to pull us away from the light by feeding fear. But we don't have to accept it. I believe that God gives only what is good, without conditions, without fear, only the certainty that what He gives is truly good for us. And we must choose to believe in the good, fully and without doubt. What about common beliefs like aging means sickness and weakness? I used to believe that too, until I began to understand. Many older people don't fall ill simply because of age, but because they carry so many burdens from their past, old emotions, memories, fears, patterns, and negative thoughts that they've never released. Their soul becomes heavy, and the body eventually expresses that weight through illness. Instead of letting go, they hold on. People don't realize that the negative doesn't simply disappear over time. In the material world, something may be over and done, but in the spiritual realm, unless you consciously release it, it remains active and continues to affect you. And that's where Bruno Groening comes in. One day, my mother and I were delivering food to a woman. My mother mentioned Bruno Groening because she could tell the woman wasn't well. The woman replied that she already knew about Bruno but didn't need him. She could produce the Heilstrom herself. I was confused. Later, I understood. Yes, there are many paths to healing, but Bruno Groening didn't just bring healing. He came to show us how to keep the healing. He came to help us avoid going back to the habits that make our soul impure again. Because if you go on living the same way, the illness will return. No one else teaches you how to live according to divine order. A life filled with love, health, abundance, joy, and kindness. That is the life God intends for us. Bruno Groening and his teachings are the key to maintaining healing. They help us recognize what is good and what is not, so we no longer accept what doesn't belong to the good. We learn to live with love for ourselves and for others, to listen to our inner voice, to follow God's guidance, to trust in the good, and to remove anything false or harmful. We must know who the negative one is, the one who spreads fear, lies, and doubt. That force wants to pull us away from our connection with God. But only the good leads to a fulfilled life, a life free from fear, full of meaning. The journey back to God is the true goal of life. Bruno Groening teaches us to walk with God, to bring Him into our daily life, to place our hand in His, and to trust that He will help. Life doesn't have to be hard when you know that someone is always there to support you. Earth is a school where we go through lessons, from small tests to the final exam, a life fully lived with God. No matter how hard the lesson, we are never learning alone. We have friends, parents, and God Himself. As a loving teacher, a father, a kind and patient director who always guides and uplifts us. Even when you're worried about the future, your job, your purpose, the challenges ahead, know that you're not alone. I remember being afraid to work as a graphic designer, scared of dealing with real clients. But I remembered Bruno Groening's words. When you call, I will come and help. I opened my heart and asked for help. And I knew I was never truly alone. Why don't we trust the one who created life itself? A clockmaker knows every gear, every screw of his creation. And God knows every detail of your life. Why not let Him guide it? Bruno Groening and God can be your best friend, your father, your advisor, your teacher, your closest companion in every area of your life. Our only task is this: to live, to trust, and to do good. Let God take care of the rest, the future, the work, the relationships. He knows you better than you know yourself. And if you let Him lead, He will take you exactly where you were meant to go, somewhere more beautiful than you could ever imagine. With all my love. Your fellow traveler on this spiritual path, you must do everything to connect with God. And once you have this connection, you must protect it as the most precious thing, because it is everything.